Many behavior analysis clients struggle with connecting to their present experiences, with paying attention to what is actually happening around them and to them. Although they are physically present, they are lost in replaying past experiences in their head, worrying about the future, or in fantasy thoughts unconnected to their actual experiences. Paying attention, what is often called attending or focus behaviors, can be important to teach or target for increase. Many individuals need to increase attention and focus behaviors. Low attending skills can negatively impact relationships as they impact listening to and focusing on what others are saying or doing. Learners who do not have strong attending skills can miss important educational content. Workers with poor attention skills may miss important instructions or environmental factors that put them at safety risk or negatively impact their productivity levels. Not attending to surroundings can make driving or operating other vehicles dangerous. It can even make walking across the street dangerous. By being aware of actual physical experiences in the present moment, individuals are better able to assess real current risks of danger, as well as to connect to pleasant, positive experiences they might otherwise have missed. Building situational awareness skills can improve the quality of life for many of our clients. It can strengthen and increase attending behaviors, helping individuals to improve their awareness of their own experiences and to focus on what is occurring in the present moment. Situational awareness can help individuals break cognitive patterns of daydreaming or checking out from what is going on around them. Individuals who get lost in reliving past experiences, worrying about the future, or inhabiting fictional, imaginary, or escapist fantasies can reduce these behaviors with consistent implementation of positive behaviors that interrupt the problem behaviors and connect the individual to the present moment and their physical experiences. There are multiple strategies that support individuals to develop the skills to connect with the present moment and to pay attention to their experiences in the here and now. One intervention that can be effectively used to increase situational awareness behaviors is the contacting the present moment strategy. It teaches individuals to spend 3 minutes or less focusing on their senses to help them ground in the present moment and help them connect to their current, present physical experiences. Situational awareness and the exercise of contacting the present moment is a mindfulness strategy. It trains individuals to pay attention to what is happening to their bodies, to notice the experience of their bodies. By attending to their experiences in the here and now, individuals can learn to differentiate between their actual direct experiences and their thoughts or emotions about their experiences. This is an intervention with applications in behavior analysis and education, clinical behavior analysis, and organizational behavior management. Depending on the client they are supporting, a behavior analyst will have a variety of skills acquisition interventions to choose from to teach contacting the present moment. I recommend using a modeling procedure, behavior skills training procedure, or teaching interaction procedure. Using the teaching interaction procedure, or TIP, can be useful if the learner is likely to be reluctant to engage in the skill, or if they question its value, because TIPs take the time to explain the rationale and the benefit of the skill to the individual. Whichever skills acquisition procedure is implemented, the modeling, practice, and feedback steps are all critical. Contacting the present moment is a simple strategy. It's a strategy that, once mastered, can be independently implemented whenever a client recognizes that they are lost in thought or disconnected from their present experiences. A simple version of this strategy asks 5 sensory questions. The individual pays attention to their own physical experiences and answers each question. What do you see? What do you hear? What body sensations do you feel? What do you smell? What do you taste? This strategy can be easily modified. For some learners, it might be valuable to have a specific number of items listed for each question. For example, you might say, "What are 3 things you see?" What are 3 things you hear? Another version of this skill is engaging the 5 senses in a senses countdown. So you can count down the senses, and this is what this might look like. Describe 5 things you can see. Describe 4 things you can feel by touching them. Describe 3 sounds you can hear. Describe 2 things you can smell. And describe the taste in your mouth. You want the questions that you ask in this intervention to feel normal. So there's some variations of questions that you can ask if the particular questions don't seem to really connect with the learner or the situation. So for example, instead of asking, what do you taste? You might ask, are you aware of any tastes? Instead of asking, what body sensations do you feel? You could ask, what do you notice with your physical body? To model this skill to our learners, we want to allow them to see it in practice, what this looks like for us. And so I would model to my clients how I engage in contacting the present moment. What do I see? I see a yellow cup. It's a water cup, a Yeti right beside me. It's pretty big. It's got a straw in it. What do I hear? I hear a bird in the distance chirping. What body sensations do I feel? I'm a little chilly and I've got an itch on my arm that I keep scratching. What do I smell? I notice that there's kind of a cut grass smell around my office and it's coming in through the windows. And I can still taste the coffee from breakfast. So that's what I taste in my mouth. So we model this to our clients so they can see what it's like to contact the present moment, contact our present experiences, and we let them see this. And then once we've modeled it, we'll do a rehearsal, a practice phase. And what this might look like is I would say to a client, right now, what do you see? In this moment, what do you hear? What body sensations do you feel? Do you notice any smells right now? Are you aware of any tastes? Now it's important in giving this practice attempt that I give plenty of time for my learner to really check in to their physical experiences. So for some people this may take a while. They might not automatically recognize what they're hearing, what's off in the distance, if they can smell anything. So don't rush this. Give them plenty of time to check in to their own sensations, to their own present experiences. Earlier, I mentioned that the goal is to teach a learner to contact the present moment or to engage in situational awareness in around 3 minutes or less. I do want to clarify that teaching this skill will take a lot longer than 3 minutes, and that when our clients first learn this skill, it will often take them longer to complete it than 3 minutes. It gets faster with practice, but that doesn't mean it should be rushed. Appropriate pacing is important because this skill teaches noticing, which takes time. And if it takes a learner a little bit longer than 3 minutes, that's okay too. Contacting the present moment interventions often benefit from using graduated prompts. In the first stage of the teaching process, you might use both verbal and visual prompts for each step. For example, describe the 5 things you can see. Hold up 5 fingers and touch your eye. Describe the 4 things you can feel. Hold up 4 fingers and then wiggle all 5 fingers. Describe the 3 sounds you can hear. Hold up 3 fingers and touch your ear, and so forth. For some learners, it's appropriate to have them copy each prompt, both the verbal and the visual. You might then fade the verbal prompt as the implementer and only use the visual prompts, eventually fading all prompts by the implementer. The goal is for these interventions is for the learner to be able to implement the strategy whenever they identify the need for it. That means that mastery of the skill will include remembering to self-prompt each step. The learner may use verbal or visual prompts to remind themselves of each step if they need it. In organizational behavior management, situational awareness is often taught as a safety behavior when it is important that individuals are aware of the environmental conditions around them and their physical experiences in the present moment. This can be especially useful when the tasks the individual is engaged in require a focus and attention that can then lead to a blocking out or lack of awareness of the conditions around them and their own physical experiences. This is especially important if the individual has a tendency towards hyperfocus. In these versions of contacting the present moment interventions, the intervention can be customized to support focusing on key environmental elements of the environment that they are working in so that they can identify indicators of danger. For example, an individual who works outdoors at heights might focus on the wind conditions and temperature conditions, as well as their own physical experiences. This could look like a scheduled hourly check-in with questions like, what does the wind feel like? How strong is the wind? What direction is the wind coming from? What is the temperature around me? How is my body responding to the temperature? Am I cold or hot? Am I sweating? For an individual working around dangerous equipment, the questions might be different. What sounds do I hear? What do I see? What do I smell? This supports an individual using their senses to identify danger, so they don't risk being so absorbed in their work that they miss the smell of smoke, or the sight of something leaking, or the sound of an equipment malfunction. Contacting the present moment as a situational awareness intervention can be implemented as a part of an acceptance and commitment therapy plan, or independently. The ease of modification and simplicity of implementation makes it a valuable strategy for behavior analysts to have in their professional toolbox. So for supervised unrestricted fieldwork, you could design and plan a contacting the present moment intervention. You would identify the template for the skills acquisition intervention that you want to use, and you would fill out that template for planning it, identifying the version of the strategy that you're going to use, as well as whether you're going to include prompts, whether you're going to fade those prompts. So you would do that planning and you would send that to me, and then we can discuss that at an upcoming supervision meeting for supervised unrestricted fieldwork. If you decide to implement this strategy with a current client, you could use this for restricted fieldwork, and that could be your client contact the implementation of this with a current client.